Hello everyone, this is Krota giving you Game 3 in a best of 3 matchup between MYMcloud and eOnZerG here on Shattered Temple. Shattered Temple obviously different, or the Shattered Temple as it is known on Blizzard's map pool. It actually has the word the in front of it, so if you're looking for it, it is the Shattered Temple, not just Shattered Temple. So ZerG is spawning at the 3 o'clock location, meanwhile we have Cloud spawning at the 12 o'clock location. Pretty much standard builds already, and Cloud opting to build his supply depot over here, which is a rather curious location as that supply depot will be a little bit out of the way. But then again, if ZerG tries to look and tries to figure out where exactly Cloud is, it will take him a little bit of time in order to spot and see that supply depot. If the probe comes into just right here or doesn't cross this plane right here, he will not see the command center and perhaps be confused and try to figure out where exactly his opponent has spawned. Supply depot is now down. We should be getting a barracks in just a moment as soon as we have enough, and there it goes, deciding to build the barracks off over here. It doesn't really make sense to build the supply depot here unless he is concerned about possible drops and he wants to be able to reveal sight into this location, in which case that makes perfect sense. Cloud now building his barracks. Meanwhile, Gateway and Assimilator already being warped in. I expect a refinery to be coming in just a moment. There we go, here on Shattered Temple. Now, Shattered Temple looks a lot like Lost Temple, except for there's only one Xel'Naga watchtower, not two. In addition, instead of having a high ground, low ground location right here on Lost Temple, you have untraversable terrain so that units on the far side can still be spotted, and ranged units here can still shoot down siege tanks or other units that are activating what was the Xel'Naga watchtowers on Lost Temple. There are still 4 spawning locations, a little bit of a repositioning on the ramps and the expansions and the Vespene geysers, but after that, not all too much. There is also no high ground ledge that allows siege tanks or Thors to be able to snipe down hatcheries at the natural expansion as well. One of the reasons why most Protoss and ZerG players decided to thumbs down Lost Temple was that particular reason. A Marine now already ready to receive that probe with open arms and a Gauss rifle, but that one probe will be able to return home. As soon as this tech lab is done, we are going to get that Reaper. An early Reaper or an early scouting Reaper has become commonplace in a lot of high-level games just because that Reaper is allowed to jump into your opponent's base, and you also get a unit as opposed to trying to use a scanner sweep to figure out what your opponent is trying to go for. However, ZerG now going for a sentry and also getting warp gate research should be able to shut down that Reaper by the time it gets inside that base. Meanwhile, it is going to be a Reaper fast expansion. Cloud already setting up his orbital or his command center at the natural expansion. The longer this game goes, the better it is going to be for Cloud, as he's going to be able to have a higher number of SCVs per mineral patch, as he did warp in his command center a little bit earlier. Probe and Zealot now returning home. The only problem is that ZerG now getting 2 additional gateways should have a very large army by the time those gateways are done, and if he pushes onto Cloud before Cloud is able to macro up and get enough proper defense, he will be behind. A tech lab and a reactor now being built by the barracks here. A tech lab already in position for this barracks as soon as this barracks is done in order to get concussive shell research and also anything else. The Reaper now trying to come in. Oh no, sorry, SCV down over here. Where is that Reaper? Reaper is now over here, so that Reaper coming in and looking to deal some sort of damage. It will be able to perhaps snipe down 2 or 3 probes, but not all that much anyways. As he just looks around, he sees the double gas, Zealots and sentries. Reaper decides to back off as those 2 sentries with that range attack, even though they are light units, the sheer amount of numbers would have been enough to destroy that one Reaper, and the Reaper already got enough scouting information anyways. We have a probe activating the center Xel'Naga watchtower, a bunker in position. Perhaps a second bunker will be placed down in just a moment, as Cloud already has his orbital command upgrading at his natural expansion. Nexus finally being placed down by ZerG, so ZerG a little bit behind in terms of his fast expansion, but he is completely higher in harvester count, so that will help him even it out. And by the time he transfers his probes over from the main base to the natural expansion, he should have nearly caught up with his opponent. Cloud as he's able to chrono boost more probes out and just train up and macro up even further. Engineering Bay now coming in as well. Stimpack and Marines being triply trained. No Marauder right now, as we are currently supply locked. Engineering Bay is finally up. I don't see missile turrets. I don't see weapons upgrades. So not exactly sure what that Engineering Bay was for at this time. If you're not gonna be using a building immediately, then you could have delayed the production of that building for something else. One probe quickly getting destroyed by 2 Marauders in a bunker with a range of 7. A Reaper now looking to get some damage. Will he be able to get some damage in here is a key critical question, as the sentries and zealots are now trying to funnel in. And the sentries, 4 of them, completely ready with waiting and open arms to destroy that one scouting Reaper. 3 Stalkers now coming in, as we are now getting a 4th gateway into production. So 4 gateways, 2 Stalkers, sentries, and zealots leading the charge here on the Shattered Temple. We also already have a pylon here, so we will be able to warp in units along the far side. So as soon as I believe this gateway is done, we should be starting to see units warped in along here, and by the time the zealots and the sentries and stalkers get halfway across the map, we should have another round of warp in. And Socke, who is very, very well known for how effective his 4-gate is, may show why his 4-gate should be feared. Engineering Bay about halfway or more than halfway completed on the level 1 weapons upgrade. Marines not being trained, Marauders being trained now with the concussive shell. Those concussive shells have to do a lot in order to try to slow down that incoming attack army, which is now starting to knock on the front door. 1950 versus 1100. Units should be warping in over here in just a moment. Yeah, so there we go, getting more stalkers and zealots. The warp gate research, or the warp gate cooldown, is now up, and now knocking on the front door is a 2400 mineral, 1200 gas army against poor Marines and Marauders that are not even 1-0 upgraded yet. Guardian Shield already up, force fields blocking the position. And yeah, this is not looking good. SCV is now in full retreat, unable to get up the ramp either, as there is a force field on the ramp. So all those SCVs will simply just get destroyed, as those zealots, under the cover of the Guardian Shields, have been having a very, very easy time against this ground army. And now Cloud, I believe, has to say GG. Stalkers and sentries in position, destroying mass Marauders, mass Marines. Down goes another sentry. Marines finally coming in. The Marines are upgraded 1-0, but too little, too late. The army, 400 Marines, 400 mineral armies and Marines, 2 Marauders. SCVs coming off the mineral line. SCVs need to start auto-repairing each other in order to try to keep each other alive, as the Stalkers are continuing to get a lot of damage. Stalkers just flanking, now going after the Marines instead of trying to focus on any of those SCVs. And that is going to be GG. Mass Marines and Marauders completely destroyed, and completely destroyed Cloud here on the Shattered Temple. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Game 1, and then followed by a very quick, short Game 2 and Game 3 as well. Yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed this 1v1 replay and this best of 3 series with Cloud and Socke here on the Shattered Temple.